With this device, I can watch all of these premium TV channels for free? Sold! Wow, this is worthless. Sponsored by Linode. Hey guys, how are you all doing? If you're new here, welcome. My name is Crazy Ken, and it's time for some more scam busting. Today we're taking a look at the TV Fix, which claims to give you access to tons of TV channels for free, and it's 100% legal. So let's take a look at their video ad, and then we'll take a look at their web presence. And then, of course, we'll try it out for ourselves so we can see how well it doesn't work. A viewer sent me this video ad. It's in German, but I was able to use YouTube's auto-translate feature to try to understand it as best as possible. The ad starts by saying this product is taking Germany by storm, and it allows you to unlock thousands of hours of free content without monthly costs, and it's 100% legal. And it claims this incredible invention was created after more than a decade of intense research at the University of Tokyo, and they're building a device which can easily capture low-frequency electromagnetic waves. And this first beta tester was amazed by it, and how clear the picture was with access to over 600 channels. Plus, this device was tested by top military engineers, and not only can it capture TV channels, it can unlock content on all major streaming platforms. Then a pretty girl shows up on the screen, and they show how it can record shows with DVR functionality. And you can get TV Fix for a cliché 50% discount, and save hundreds, even thousands of euros on your cable bill. And you better order now before they go out of stock. Now, I don't speak much German, but I don't need a translator to know when my bullshit detector is going off. So, let's break this down. First off, if any ad says a product is taking a region by storm, that's a red flag. By storm is an overused, clickbaity expression used by many scammy ads, so avoid it. Then we see the claim that you can unlock thousands of hours of content, which is really not that much, relatively speaking, for free, and it's 100% legal. The first thing that caught my attention here was the incredibly old network logos, like this Comedy Central logo, which was changed to the C logo in 2011. So that's a prime example of how out of touch these advertisers are with modern times. The next thing I was pondering was, how is it technologically possible or legally possible? But those topics are a little more complicated, so we'll get back to those soon. Moving on, I can't find this tweet that's in the ad, so I don't know what happened there. I even used Twitter's advanced search with no luck. Maybe it was a fake tweet from the beginning, and honestly, that wouldn't surprise me. Then the ad mentions DVR, but with a device this small and this cheap, I doubt it has the proper storage and processing power to record television, but I'll confirm that once I test it out. And of course, we end with the 50% discount and the out-of-stock warnings, which are all scarcity tactics to entice the buyer to buy immediately. Rarely are these discounts and stock warnings actually true, so there's lots of red flags here. So now, let's take a look at their web presence. I found this advertorial written by Michael McKinney, who is likely just a fake name paired with a stock photo, like I've seen in previous scam busters. The advertorial, or in this case, fake article, claims this new player is trying to break up the cable company monopolies, and media companies don't want you to know about it. The article claims TV Fix can hack into your television and unlock access to thousands of streams and movies, and it's 100% legal. Yeah, guys, there's not like a secret hard drive built into your TV that you somehow need to unlock access to. That's not how it works. Anyway, the article says you can get access to ABC, Apple TV+, Disney+, and over 2,000 TV channels and free movie sites. Then it tries to use social proof to entice the reader to buy. It shows tweets that are saying nice things about the product, but the tweets are merely images. They're not real embedded tweets on the webpage, so they're likely fake. Then, of course, there's a fake 50% discount at the bottom, which will likely never expire. And it says these statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. The Food and Drug Administration? What does the FDA have to do with television? It says Kalo is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. It seems like this webpage template was used for some other product in the past, and someone forgot to edit that out of there. Nice job. But it gets worse. The TV Fix website reiterates on the BS claims and further pushes the bogus discount. But oddly enough, it says only pay for the programming that you want to watch, which contradicts what we saw in the other marketing materials. They said you can unlock all this stuff for free. More inconsistencies equals more red flags. While searching online, I found another video from a familiar, literally loudmouth narrator.
Welcome to all of you in this new video.
Oh look, more clickbaity facial expressions and arrows. Wow, I've never seen those before. I bring this video up because it does something that the other stuff doesn't. It actually talks about the legalities a little bit more, but pretty vaguely.
TV Fix is a brand new 100% legal way where you can watch everything for free. This device takes advantage of a loophole which is sanctioned by the government.
So it's a loophole sanctioned by the government. Okay. What government? What country? What jurisdiction are we even talking about here? And what even is the loophole? You don't describe it at all. Also, terrible Photoshop job. This fake review video just blabbers on about the same stuff we already covered, but it doesn't mention the technology. So let's circle back to that topic. How does a television broadcast actually get to your home, and what are some things that TV Fix could theoretically do to achieve that? Generally speaking, there are 4 ways a television broadcast gets to your TV. One method is through satellite. The prepared feed is transmitted from a facility to a satellite uplink center or ground station, then that feed is broadcast as microwaves to a satellite in space. These satellites are high above the Earth in a stationary orbit, generally 22,300 miles, give or take, so they can remain aligned with dishes on the ground. That's why microwaves are used, because they can pass through the atmosphere and travel far distances while maintaining a narrow beam. Then that satellite rebroadcasts the signal to your home satellite dish on Earth. If you have satellite TV, this is how it's delivered to you. The second method is through cable. Facilities called headends receive signals from satellites. Then this facility works its magic to distribute the signal to your home through physical cables. A third method is if you're using a digital terrestrial antenna, you can receive a signal from local affiliate stations. And the fourth method is my personal favorite because it's what I use. OTT, or over the top. OTT content is streamed over the internet and is accessible by any internet-enabled device such as an Apple TV, Roku, or smartphone, with your ISP, internet service provider, being the middleman to make this connection possible. So that's the gist as to how a TV broadcast can get to your home. So is TV Fix doing any of that stuff? Are they somehow harnessing all of these airwaves and signals and converting them and broadcasting them over the internet to all these little tiny boxes all over the planet? Probably not. They would somehow need to set up antennas and dishes to capture all these signals and have all these servers to re-encode all these things and broadcast them and get the signals and feeds all over the world. And you would think if they really had all that infrastructure in place, they would show that stuff in the ads. But they don't show any of that stuff because there's nothing to show. None of that stuff exists. So if they don't have their own infrastructure in place that are powering these things, what is happening? Are these little devices actually capable of fetching these waves out of thin air? No. That's improbable, at least with the long list of networks they claim to give you access to. Whether you're connecting to satellite TV or just using digital terrestrial, you still need certain hardware and antennas to receive those signals properly. Take satellite dishes, for example. Satellite dishes have big parabolic structures that can catch the signal, if you will, and reflect it. And the dishes use specifically designed antennas with feed horns and LNBFs, low noise block down converters, to receive the reflected signal and make it compatible with the cable and receiver inside your home. This tiny little box has none of that stuff built in, so it's impossible for it to achieve that technological feat. However, let's make believe they can overcome the technical challenges. How is this legal? Continuing in the context of satellites, unless you're using FTA, free-to-air, to receive a program, you're not going to be able to watch anything on an encrypted broadcast, which is what networks want to use because they want you to pay for their services so you can watch their stuff, which makes sense. But judging by the logos TV Fix shows in their ads, it's unlikely they're focusing on FTA. I'm no lawyer, especially on international laws, but if this company was somehow successfully decrypting broadcasts and redistributing them for thousands, if not more, customers to see, you'd think someone would have heard about it by now and shut it down, like the FCC or something. Let's be honest, even private companies crack down hard on stuff. Heck, I even got a copyright notice on YouTube because I trimmed up an Apple keynote and added my commentary to it. So legally and technically, TV Fix is an improbable device filled with false promises. So what does it actually do? Well, there's only one way to find out. I went ahead and bought one. The purchase process was a copy-paste of many other scammy websites I've investigated. They try to upsell you with bundles, more bogus discounts, and these likely fake reviews. And what checkout would be complete without a post-transaction upsell? And another, and another! Wait, this one is an antenna? Designed using discrete military technology? Yeah, I'm sure it was. Oh hey, another upsell! Hey, wait a minute, remember this one? The Range XTD? I debunked that in another Scambuster episode. Man, I love this job. By the way, check out that episode later, it's really good. So now, it's time to test this baby out. But real quick, I just want to say I've been getting a lot of awesome Scambuster submissions recently, and I encourage you guys to keep them coming. My Twitter DMs is the best way to get a hold of me. And also, if you like these episodes, make sure to leave a like because that helps me gauge interest. Basically, more likes equals more episodes. Okay, let's test it out. Okay, so I did some testing, and I even tapped into Brainiac Brent for this one too, and yeah, it's a disappointing pile of crap. Some of you may have guessed this by now, but it really is just a screencaster. Kind of like Chromecast, but this sucks! To set it up, you simply plug the HDMI cable into the TV for sound and picture, and USB for power. On first boot up, you see a setup screen. And at this point, we need to connect a device to the TV Fix, which will act as a controller. Using an iPhone, we connected to the TV Fix's Wi-Fi. Then the screen changes, showing casting directions for iOS and Android. Again, further proving it's a mere caster and not some magical TV unlocking device. At this point, we can already use the screen mirroring feature and we can cast local content. But if we want to AirPlay YouTube, for example, we need to set this thing up with the internet so it can actually find that video and stream it. The screen shows an IP address you can type into your phone's web browser, and you'll need to use this web page to connect TV Fix to your home Wi-Fi. Once you've done that, you're ready to start casting content from the internet. First, Brainiac Brent tested some screen mirroring from Windows with a Wii game, and there was lots of tearing, artifacting, frame drops, and glitches. But oddly enough, during a second screencast test of the same game, it actually worked okay, with only a few audio cutouts. The next test was YouTube playback with an iPhone and AirPlay. So this isn't mirroring at this point, it's just regular AirPlay fetching the YouTube feed. And sadly, TV Fix couldn't even handle that. It froze up with a spinning loading wheel constantly. And also, TV Fix is not HDCP authorized, so if you're doing screen mirroring with protected content in an app like iTunes or the Mac's built-in TV app, you're gonna get an error, or it's just gonna straight up kick you out of the mirroring. I also tried regular AirPlay with protected content without mirroring turned on, and I just got this error. This video is in a format that can't be streamed to this TV. So now we've exhausted so many basic tasks for this thing, I wanted to give it one more test, a really simple test. A non-protected, DRM-free, locally stored, airplayed, standard definition video file. It should be able to handle that, right? Wrong. I tried airplaying the file with QuickTime, and I just kept getting a spinning wheel, and about a minute later, it just kicked me out. Truly a quality product. Oh yeah, and there's no DVR, another false claim. And they have the nerve to value this thing at $120? Come on. Why does this thing suck so bad? Probably because it has no horsepower. I cracked it open and saw a Rockchip RK3036G, which is an ARM system on a chip with a Cortex A7 MP Core CPU. That CPU is from 2012-2013, so it's a bit old by now, and judging by the size and the lack of cooling inside this thing, it's probably underpowered too. But the blame doesn't fall squarely on the processor. The software on this thing might just be terrible, and that can be why the thing fails so much. So TV Fix. It's full of lies, false advertising, and for the thing it's actually made to do, it does it poorly. To be fair, there are parts of the website and some other articles that do say it's a screencaster, but I feel some of that gets lost among all of the other false claims. So always be careful when reading marketing material. Think critically and do some cross-checking with other web sources or any other source you can trust, because I don't want you to fall victim to some guys that are just trying to make a quick buck. Thankfully, my friends at Linode run a good business. And remember I was talking about infrastructure earlier? That's actually what Linode specializes in. If you need cloud computing power to deploy your web apps or your other projects at any scale, Linode has all the infrastructure in place for you so you don't have to build it all by yourself. Whether you're developing a personal project, building a website, or managing larger workloads, you deserve simple, affordable, and accessible cloud computing solutions. And that's exactly what Linode is for. Heck, you can even deploy Minecraft and CSGO servers. And as a thank you for watching my show, I'll give you a 60-day $100 credit when you sign up today. You also receive 24/7, 365 human support, regardless of your plan size. You can choose shared and dedicated compute instances, or you can use your $100 in credit on S3-compatible object storage, managed Kubernetes, and more. To put it simply, if it runs on Linux, it runs on Linode. Visit linode.com/computerclan and click the Create Free Account button to get that 60-day $100 credit, and when you do that, you're also supporting the Computer Clan, so thank you very much. Keep those Scambuster suggestions coming, and feel free to subscribe for more tech episodes every week. Thanks, and I'll see you next time. Catch the crazy and pass it on.